In nomine Padri, I Fili, I Spiritu Santi. Welcome everybody to Sunday Mass. Very interesting morning I had. So, as you guys all know, I take care of my elderly neighbor, which is an honor, I guess. In a lot of ways. I love her. She's an amazing woman, and I'm in there all day long. She lives right next door, and I've done everything I can in my power to, as she gets older, to help her with everything, food, everything. I had her house deep cleaned the other day, just because I need some kind of maintenance and ability to keep it up, but I needed a little extra help. So, and it was great. It was really, we had a great time. Last 2 nights, something very odd has been happening because her house is spotless. As you guys all know, she's got this cat named Bubble. It's not her cat. It's like the neighborhood cat. It roams the backyards and feed me, love me to all the neighbors. And everybody in the neighborhood loves the cat. She especially loves the cat. So I leave her patio. She's got a backyard, like a elevated backyard, but it's hard to describe. It's a patio on a roof that used to be able to be accessible by a tree, and then DL knocked all the trees down and cemented everything up. Anyway, long story short, I leave the door of her patio ajar every night, just in case Bubble wants to come in. A couple of times I've caught him in there, sleeping on the edge of her bed. He's eating his food. In very nice weather, I put the food outside, but I don't want bugs and flies and stuff in there. Anyway, last 2 nights, I've come into her apartment, and there was a big bag of Frisky's cat food in the middle of the living room. All the skew, all the strew, all over the floor. And I was like, oh, wow, Bubble, you bad cat. You bad cat. What are you doing, bad cat? And then this morning, I went to go check on her cameras, because I've got cameras in her apartment, so I can, watch, just make sure everything's okay if I'm not there. So it's like 24-hour surveillance. That's just what you do when you have an elderly person or a baby, not, basically she sits and watches TV or reads, or, has a croissant. She's got lots of those chocolate croissants in a bag at all times. She loves her coffee. So this morning, like 9 o'clock in the morning, I went in and I saw that the camera must have fallen. The camera that kind of gives me a whole view of her front door, important for strangers, delivery people, and enemies. And the camera had fallen. It's happened before. Sometimes she goes and she tries to turn the air conditioner off, which she can't because I have the knob. That's right, Ray. I said knob. I didn't think much of it. And then, I had the show scheduled for 11:05. And then at 10 something, I said, you know what? Let me go check it out. It's probably a good idea to go check out to see what's going on, if everything's okay. So I open up the door, and there's the camera on the floor. But there's the bag of food in the middle of the living room. But this time it's empty, and it was full. I went, oh, that's weird. And then she's got a litter box over by the patio door, and all the litter was out of it. And it was just like there was things on the floor, like Bubble had ransacked her apartment. And I was like, that's really insanely crazy. So then I said, that just doesn't seem like something Bubble would do. So I go into the camera app, and I go into motion detection or to see what Bubble was doing when he decided to have a party in her house and mess everything up. Meanwhile, I leave the patio door open just about this much. And she has a little cat door, but that's sealed only because it was for her previous cats that knew how to use it. And, I have it sealed because it's just an opening on the wall that goes outside. So long story short, I put on the motion detector to see what events have happened, and at 1:46 at night, I saw this. Yup, it's Rocky Raccoon, and he came in, and that is him stand in front of on our couch in front of the camera, And right after it, the motion detection is that the camera hit the floor. And Andrew got it right. Now, I want to tell you where her apartment is on the ground floor, but the earth grades downward. So there's another level beneath her, the basement level, but in the backyard, it's ground level. So in order for a raccoon or a cat to get up there, there's some fancy footwork that has to be done. Scaling walls via a trellis, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very talented. And I've got videos of Bubble climbing up the trellis, climbing down the trellis, which we love because we love Bubble, and because DL decided to take away the superhighway in which Bubble used to get there. He found another way, which is great. And, he's her pal, and I can't pet him. He shies away from me, but she pets him, and he's very sweet. And he's a big fat black cat. And he's very sweet. But this guy shows up and decides to wreck the bejesus out of her home. I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. The door was open, Andrew. But this guy, and hey, I love all animals, and we've had many raccoons in the neighborhood, but I just never thought a raccoon could get to where she is, because he would have to do the same thing that Bubble does. He'd have to climb up the trellis, or I don't know what other methodology he'd have to use to get up there. So sadly, that means the end of leaving the door open for Bubble at night, because interlopers are at play here. And Rocky, you're welcome to eat, but you're not welcome to ransack the house. So I have to vacuum up all the litter and put away. He just obviously got on. I have to clean all the counters to make sure. I don't know where this raccoon has been. I don't know anything about him. But, and he looks like a baby too. That was my morning. So that's why I had to push the show back an hour, because of my discovery of the raccoon interloper. And that's that these louvers right here, that's her bedroom. So she was asleep. It's the middle of the night. This is infrared, obviously. So there's the opening on the door right over there. You can see it. And he came in, and there was food, and he must have not had enough. He ate all of Bubble's food that I leave out, and decided to go find the bag of cat food. And it was a brand new bag, and he ate the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe he had friends with him. I don't know. Raccoons tend to travel in packs, right? But that was my morning, and I just was like, okay. Every day is a new adventure, and I didn't tell her about that, because why would I do that? I don't want to creep her out. I'll just make sure the door is closed from here on out. And that's not much I can do about it. Sorry, Bubble. Well, Eric, he's a Queens. He's a Queen. What accent would the raccoon have? Well, there used to be a cat. My neighbors, Pat and Bubba, they used to have a bunch of raccoons in their backyard, and one of them we named Rocky, because that's just the cliche name for all raccoons, right? And he was so friendly that he would get up on his hind legs, and he would let me feed him, and I pet him. He was very, very sweet. I don't know whatever became of him. He just kind of disappeared. This guy, I don't know him from Adam. I don't know anything about him. But I guess he talked like this because he's from Queens, if raccoons could speak. But this guy, they're very, very cute. That's for sure. But, raccoons, man. Raccoons have thumbs. This is going to be a forever problem. Well, it's not, because I'm going to keep the door closed from here on out. I was leaving the door open on purpose. I mean, there's no way that it's a sliding door, and the thing is he'd have to climb up the screen. There's no way. And it's a double door, and it locks. So there's no way he can get in there. It only locks from the inside. So that will be the very, very last time that he'll get in there. You will probably find it stocking the apartment. Oh, you mean stalking, or I don't know, or stocking? Was he going to stock it with the groceries? By the way, last night you ate an entire bag of Friskies, a 5-pound box of Friskies. He couldn't get into any of the Fancy Feast cans of cat food. So just do me a favor. Next time you go to the market, Raccoon, could you please go get me another bag of Friskies? I hate to break the news to you, but I just saw that raccoons are wanted by the FBI top 10. Probably. May I see your papers? I hear that raccoons are being stopped all over the place. Anyway, that's my story for this morning. I just thought it was absolutely crazy. Let's see who got Kevin Landon. Kevin Landon upvoted number 3 for Sunday, but you're in there at number 1, my dear friend. Number 1 on the iBashers Network for this Sunday Mass. It's Kevin Landon. I will be live for the early show I hope you're still here, but I had to push it back an hour for Raccoon Gate. We had Melania Gate, we have Raccoon Gate. Sunday Mass is our holy ground where no fighting is allowed by tradition. Indeed. And why would we do that? Best wishes to Dirk and all the Bashers. May all good things continue to flow for all of you. Indeed, indeed to you, Kevin Landon. And Mr. Wolkowicz is in here at $5 Canadian. Kevin, first comment, well done. Be kind to everyone and subscribe and upvote and have a great day. We start off, as always, with Andrew Wolkowicz Gong. I'm having my traditional coffee because I just went down there like a maniac and had to clean that whole thing up. So I was like, I need a little bit of pump for the show. And that'll always do it. Thank you very, very much, guys, for all the coffee love and the glass love. I love you. It wouldn't be Bashers without it. Sure would be nice if people would possibly Sunday a super chat with the upvote. Oh, that's awfully nice of you. Only takes a moment and the price of a coffee. You know, it's August. Listen, I've said this a million times, my dearests. While this is my job and that's how I make a living and all that stuff, I'm grateful for all the wonderful people out there who join the show. And if they can super chat, they will. And if they can be a Patreon, they will. No pressure, no grift, none of that stuff. I'm grateful for it all, you know, and I'll be doing this as there's so much great stuff coming up. So, Stained Glass Mass Bash. Yeah, baby. And Dave Fahrenheit 451's in there. Upvoted everybody. So, this weekend, entire week, Paul's cousins were in from Milano. He has Milanese cousins, and his cousin came in, Maurizio came in with his beautiful wife Chiara and their son Andrea. And last week we went and we had dinner and we went around town and did a lot of cool things with them. But yesterday we went to the reopening of the Frick Museum. Scotty Love, if you're around, it was marvelous. Got to see the Vermeer exhibit, which is very, very small. And I will say the following. I've always loved Vermeer. I've always been a big fan of Vermeer. However, the ones that they had were quite different. And then there was this whole thing about how very oftentimes Vermeer's subjects are women writing cards and how she has a relationship with her handmaid. And it was fascinating. But up close, it is kind of blurry, which is very interesting because I've never noticed that before. And I know I've seen the girl with the pearl earring in real life, and I don't remember it being like that. And then, so Paul's cousin is an artist as well, brilliant artist. And his son, I don't know, this kid's going to change the world. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with him. He's one of the brightest kids in he's going to university for economics, but because of his dad and because of all the things that interest him, he knows absolutely everything about every artist and every painter and the reasons why they painted and the history of each it was mind-boggling. And then it was so fascinating to me. We're having all these artistic conversations, and he was getting a little bit flowery and very, like talking about like existentialism and all this stuff. I said, yeah, but that almost sounds, and I said, and I don't mean this as an insult, because why would I do that? Because he's one of the most wonderful kids I've ever met in my life. I said, sometimes when people talk like that about art, it sounds pretentious. And he understood exactly what I meant, didn't take offense by it. I said, I think when you're introducing people to art, you have to be very careful about that kind of chitter chatter, because sometimes that stuff, like, for example, a lot of people like Pink Floyd, but they don't like Roger Waters', Intention Live and his, or whomever. I'm using it as an example because it's pretty extreme. You go to a concert, you go to a Dixie Chicks concert, and you love pop country, and all of a sudden they're doing political rants or whatever. I would imagine if you know the particular artist, you know what you're in store for. Sometimes you get ambushed, so that's a problem. And I get that too. A lot of people think artists should keep their mouth shut. I disagree with that, because I think, any megaphone is a worthwhile megaphone if you've got a message that you think is worth sharing, because you've got a bigger megaphone than everybody else. But when it's talking about, like when people start talking about what the lyrics of songs mean, I tune out instantly, because you know what, I would rather read it as poetry, and in my own mind apply that or imagine that in such a way that my imagination can soar, can digest it. Once I know what the intention of an artist is, um I kind of go, oh, and it's not so special for me anymore because the fantasy aspect of it is gone. Anyway, this kid was great. And then we got into, and I'm not going to get into this big time, but man, he's a economics major. He's going for, he's going to get his master's degree in economics. And we talked about everything. And it was the most fascinating conversation from a person who basically doesn't have an opinion. He basically was just telling me all of the facts, which I found fascinating. He didn't do it with any kind of, well, this is how I'm teaching you because you need to learn this. He was just giving me the textbook examples of society and economics. And we did talk about Star Trek and we laughed about it. But fascinating kid. And that's what we did. We went to the Frick yesterday, and then we went out for we tried to get up to St. John the Divine because they had never been, and we didn't because I couldn't get a taxi that would take 5 of us in a car, which was kind of like, it was amazing. I couldn't believe the attitudes of yellow taxi cab drivers, considering the fact that they're now dinosaurs, and that because of the advent of Uber, most people are just opting to use those methods of transportation as opposed to just hailing a cab. But I was like, we're in New York, we're on Fifth Avenue, let me hail a cab. I hailed a cab, and nobody would take us. Even the guys in the big SUVs that had more than seats that could accommodate us. Because, oh, it's a new rule. And they didn't want to take me up to St. John the Divine because nobody ever refuses the fare. And I said, listen, man, I'll throw you a couple extra bucks just for taking us, because I've got people in town. Thanks. And nobody would take us at all. So we wound up staying in the neighborhood, not going up to St. John the Divine. And we went to a restaurant and just spent the whole day. And the whole time I'm not walking with the adults, I'm walking with the 19-year-old, and I'm learning so much from his fresh brain, his fresh mind, his clear mind, his unopinionated mind, when we were talking about societal norms and detours and politics and money and all the things that make the world go round, and then just sprinkle in humanity and see how it all gets messed up. It was fascinating. So cheers to you, Andrea, because I think I'm gobsmacked by your intelligence. Isn't it nice to teach an old dog new tricks? Now, like I said, he wasn't playing teacher and student. He was telling me the things that he's learned and quoting textbooks and history and literature and poetry. And, I have to say this about Italians, and I've noticed this, that when they go to school, they really go to school. They go seriously to learn, because most of the younger Italians, like Paul's other cousins, they're all also fascinating young men, and so interested in not just going to school and meeting girls and playing sports, but the curriculum as well. I don't know. I have to say, so many of my friends that, like, I went to college for a little while. I didn't finish college. I should have. I certainly could have, and I just didn't because I wanted to be a rock star, like a dumb. Could have done both. You see people like actors and musicians, they go back to school and they earn their degrees. It's like I kind of resent that I didn't do that. It's a regret for sure. And I wasn't the best student in the whole wide world. I know that I would be now. But what am I going to do? It's too late to go back. And they say it's never too late to go back, but in my particular instance, I think that it is. But very fascinating thing about the culture over there, especially, and no offense to anybody in any way, shape, or form, especially the modern youth of Italy, because they've been through so many different types of government, and their country has such a rich history of different kinds of governments. So anybody who's into like socio-political learning is definitely going to have a better grip, because over here we've kind of been the same. Like I said, no offense to anybody, I think only now we're learning a little bit about like how it could go the other way and how things could get scary. Really interesting. So I had a great day with them. Yeah. Bruce Stuttgart's in the room. Good day, Bashers. Good day, Bashers. Kevin, congratulations. Says Panel Power coming back for you. Panel Power. Me and my we're working on the new Hitman record, and me and my guitar player Jimmy are always doing little Dio-isms. We're always going like, yeah, look out. That's the big one. Look out. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Early dawning Sunday morning. It's just the wasted years so close behind. Okay, I wish I knew what song that is. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. Let me see what that is, because I don't know. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. What is it? What song is that? Oh, Velvet Underground. See, I wouldn't know that off the top of my head. I did that extremely terrible version of Walk on the Wild Side because I don't know enough. Other than I met him, and him and his wife were very, very, very cool. And I'm not a little man. I'm not a big man. I'm a 5'8" man. He was maybe 5'4". He was tiny, Lou Reed. Or maybe he shrunk. I don't know. Joe LaFaro will catch up a little later. Conflicting works. Well, we all know what you do, and thank you for your service, my dear friend. What am I wearing today? People are asking. I'm wearing Charlie Brown. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. I love to wear that on Sunday. It's one of my Sunday favorites because it's sunny. That's why. Because it's sunny. I scratched. Yeah, that is. I scratched. This is from my bike ride yesterday. And it's really stupid. It was the end of a cable that was a little rough, and I scratched it. Sunday Mass is here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. And Bronson. You ever see that version of here's the gayest thing I'll say on this Sunday? Judy Garland and Barbara. It's a very famous clip if you don't know about it. Judy Garland and Barbara Streisand when she was just a wee ingenue. Barbara Streisand came on the Judy Garland show, and she sang Happy Days Are Here Again, and she sang People. I think that was the mashup. It was just, wow. Wow. There are 4 questions of value in life. What is sacred? What is the spirit made? Of what is the spirit made? What is worth living for, and what is worth dying for? The answer to each is the same. Only love. I agree. Only love is worth dying for. Love of your family, love of your planet, love of your I don't know how I feel about love of my country. Would I want to die for my country? No. I know that that's a mentality that a lot of people have and or had, but I think that's, throughout history, everybody's died for their country. It's tough. If I was ever eligible for the draft, what would I do? I probably would have gone, because it was expected of you, different time, different place. Would I have been a conscientious objector? I don't kill things, man. I kill mosquitoes because they must die. This mosquito must die. Yeah, man, I wouldn't be able to kill a person. No way. Not in the name of anybody. That's a tough one, man. Right? You hit us right out of the gate with such a tough one. Yeah. So love. Yeah. Love. I mean, protecting my family, probably. I mean, yeah. Love will find a way through paths where wolves fear to prey. Indeed, and they do. Love does find the way. It does. There is something pagan in me that I cannot shake off. Me too. In short, I deny nothing but doubt everything. Julian, we are the same. I'm a Catholic, a lapsed Catholic, a terrible Catholic, but a Catholic nonetheless. It's just been ingrained in my soul. I guess it's like, and I think it's different when you're other denominations of Christendom. But I could be totally wrong. Because it's so ancient. I guess it's probably more akin to being Jewish, when it's a culture that is more instilled into you, because Jewish is certainly a culture as well as religion, but so is Catholicism. It really is. And the other ones are all offshoots of it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, the chicken, right? Yeah, it's hard, but I do doubt everything, and I do deny nothing. Because how ignorant would that be to deny? I deny flat earthing. What do I think about alternate universes? Sure, why not? What do I think about where we're in a bubble, and it's like a children's play toy? I don't know. It's this. I go to bed every night with my iPad, and I just watch science. That's what I watch at night. When I'm falling asleep, I listen to lots of different channels, not just Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I watch Anton. I have a lot of guys that I like to watch, and ladies, astrophysicist Janelle. I love her. She's amazing. She's English. She's amazing. And it's theories. And I like them because it makes you think and makes you wonder and say, is that possible? Is it not possible? So yeah, I think that's amazing. And because I have some pagan folks in my life that I worship these people, and some of the pagan things that they got. And listen, I'm Irish. We used to be pagans too at one time. Men think highly of those who rise rapidly in the world, indeed, whereas nothing rises quicker than dust, straw, and feathers. Wowee. Yeah, that's called the dust up. Isn't that funny? Absolutely crazy, man. Renaissance genius today. Thank you for those amazing words of wisdom. Ken Furby says, hello, everyone. Hello, Dirk. I try to carry out the Lord's plan, but Kevin got there first. Well, Ken, you're still a superstar. Blessings be upon him. Mixing up my religions here. I'll just upvote and subscribe and shut up. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's nothing worse in the world than, like I told you guys a long time ago that somebody said you're not allowed to say you guys on YouTube anymore. Like they're going to be cracking down on saying you guys. I don't know how true that is. Now, I don't generally say, hey, you guys, like a lot of the Instagram influencers do, but, it's, folks, hey, folks. Can I say folks? I'll say folks from now on. If it offends anybody, I don't want to say you guys, but, you see a group of girls and one of the girls says, hey, you guys, guys, girls, whatever. I'll tell you a funny thing I did yesterday. I was at the Frick Museum, which is gorgeous. It's the Frick Mansion, and it's on 5th Avenue and 71st Street. And it had a massive restoration, and it's this absolutely impossibly opulent. And man, I was able to sneak a couple of pictures, but man, they've got security everywhere, making sure people don't take pictures. However, you were allowed to take pictures of the Vermeer, which I think were crazy. So I wanted to use the Jacks right before I left. So I get on, go find the restaurant. There's, of course, every museum's got a fancy restaurant now. And we didn't eat there. And I just saw the line for the bathrooms. And I said to this woman who happened to be a New Yorker, and I said, oh, is this the line for the toilets? And she said, no, it's just the line for the ladies. I said, oh, wow, a dedicated men's room and a ladies' room? She goes, yeah. I said, hooray. Because, I lament the end of the men's room because, those one or two tiny little rooms with a toilet and a sink in it for everybody to use, you never get to go to. It's just such stupidity. And it drives me bananas. I don't care who comes in the men's room. Knock yourself out. I don't care. So I felt super duper guilty. She's like, no, there's no line for the men's room. So I opened up the door to the men's room, and it was amazing. There was like 6 urinals, 3 booths, 3, stalls, and did my business, washed my hands, went outside, and I opened up the door, and there was my girl and all these ladies. Says, ladies, there's absolutely no gents in here right now. Come on in. And they were like, you think? I'm like, hey, we're now in a world where anybody can use whatever bathroom they want. So come on in. And I felt great. And then like 3 or 4 ladies went right into the men's room and we didn't have to wait online anymore, which is great. It's such a stupid thing for you to get rid of the big rooms that accommodate 6 to 10 ladies and 10 to 20 men and just have 2 tiny little rooms with a toilet and a sink in it. It helps no one. Drives me bananas. Anyway, I digress. Well done, Kevin, in the first church, baby. Take care of Rose. We all understand. Yeah. I've also got her on my other screen right now because I've got the cameras up. And she's not sitting down anymore. So, but at least she's not, listen, it's just, getting to a point right now where I'm just very concerned. She's great. She's doing really well. But, Raccoon Gate. Being a caregiver comes before everything else. Best wishes to Rose. Thanks, buddy. Thanks so much. Bruce Stuttgart says that's crazy. Right on time. That's right, baby. I said I was going to be late, but I didn't want to be that late. Good day, Father Dirk. Wishing you and yours only good things. Only good things to you, buddy. Thanks so very much. The incomparable Andy M. Thank you very, very much. The neighborhood food and petting whore. Cats are welcome. Listen, I don't care. I don't care. Who cares? I don't care who eats the food, but I do not want a raccoon in the house at night when, Rose is sleeping. What if Bubble was in there and the raccoon decided to be mean? I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. And the beautiful Dave Fitzsimons is lighting a candle for all the Bashri. In nomine Padre, Fili, Spiritu Santi. Grazie mille, signore. Thank you so much, Dave Fitzsimons. Also, hanging around with the Italians and having to speak Italian the whole time. Yeah, I mess up like crazy. And who cares? Andrea speaks perfect English. The parents do not. Because, that's how it works. It's like all the kids in Ireland speak Irish now. And while like the older generations might have a little bit of a knowledge or whatever, that language was murdered and it's back. But in Italy, they teach all the kids English. It's amazing. And his English is perfection. And I was like, can we speak Italian also? And it's been pretty great, That's no way, that sneaky son of a bitch. It's funny stuff. That's hilarious stuff. Hey, Drew B. Did we hear for the beginning my raccoonish? I mean, it's absolutely crazy, right? Like, have you had because you guys kind of live in semi-rural? I mean, I saw cornfields, which is amazing. That's where you got the June. You ever have like raccoons try to come in? And what do the cats do? It's just a weird thing. Because, I live in literally, if I look out my bedroom window and I put my head to the right, there's the Empire State Building. I mean, I'm in New York City. I'm not outside New York City. I'm in New York City. So it's weird. But there are raccoons and opossums. And of course, rats. Dean says, good afternoon to Mr. Drew B. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Drew B. We love having you there. Roger Waters is a prominent supporter of Palestine in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and has frequently condemned Israel's military. We know this, yeah, in Gaza, including its offenses. And all that. Yeah. Well, my point was that, if you buy a ticket, you should probably know what you're in for. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with things I agree with. I do have problems with things I don't agree with, but like everybody, former Pink Floyd member Roger Ward faces possible prosecution over support of Palestine. Sure, how long did it take for the West to go in there and take Hitler out? We kind of sat on our asses for a while, right? And let that shit happen. How many Jews were killed? How many gays were killed? How many Poles were killed? How many Hungarian? How many Europeans were killed? Him and his little gang of maniacs. How long did we let that happen before we decided to jump in and change that? Now, people are starting to wake up. I mean, in today's day and age where it's not like, you used to get your news trickle in. Propaganda is always a problem. And let's be honest. News is propaganda these days. It's editorial. It is not news. It is opinion given to you as news. Most of it. So like I have that whole paywall thing where like, wow, a lot of the news channels are behind a paywall and a lot of them are not. Why do people think a certain way? Because they get all their news from the ones that they get for free. I don't know. And I discussed that with a local newscaster in my neighborhood. And he looked at me like, he goes, I never realized that. And I said, I'm sure it contributes in some small way. It has to, because how do you get counterpoint? If you're just being fed the same thing, you're going to think that that's Bible. You're just going to, it's like people who quote the Bible. Sucking somebody quotes the Bible, I am done. I am done. That's a great banner. I need to make a new one. Create a banner. I am done. Yeah, it's a good one. Add a banner. There he goes. The second people do that, I mean, why? Because you're better than everybody because you read a book? Shut up. That is so stupid. Listen, the Bible and the Quran and the Talmud, all those things were written so people would be better people, not be shitty people, and also to keep them in line. Let's face that. None of that shit's the word of God. I mean, some of it might be. I don't deny anything. But it's just ridiculous, Boo ba doo ba doo ba doo. Hey girl, take a walk. Oh, boom ba doo ba doo 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 doo. Not boo doo 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 doo. Yeah, or something like that. Will raccoon teas be coming? Hey, maybe so. Maybe so. But maybe I'll put a Bible quote on there, or I'll just say, I am done. It's just such an excuse. It's an excuse. And people go, well, Paul's letter to the Ephesians, Mark says, because that's the fact. Use your common sense and guide your opinion with love and respect. Right? Just do that, and don't be a racist, misogynistic dickhead. Treat people, animals, and the world as you would treat yourself, which is the greatest thing that ever came out of that stuff. And I think most of the commandments are good. I'm not saying you can't check out your neighbor's wife because maybe she's hot. Maybe you should. Maybe your husband's a total dilf. Who knows? I mean, do not covet thy neighbor's wife. I mean, there's some funny ones. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not steal. Those are really, really good ones. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Yeah, I mean, it's polite. It's a polite thing, And listen, I think a lot of that stuff is really a really great way. And I have tremendous respect for the church and disrespect. But I think most of us do nowadays. Anyone can live as a pagan, but they can still die a Catholic, right? Even Voltaire on his deathbed asked, what have I done? There you go, Voltaire. Amazing. Vasilios from Greece. Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to you, Vasilios. Drooby says, we call possums gray kitties. That's a fact, Jack. Opossums. We don't have possums here. We have opossums. They're different. They're kind of ugly, but they're ugly cute. And I haven't seen one in a really long time, but they're really, really sweet animals. They're very, very sweet. So it's not that big a deal, I was camping, sitting in a chair, having a beer and eating Doritos by the fire. I looked down and there's a raccoon sitting there eating my Doritos. And I asked him if he wanted a beer. Well, why not? There's no problem asking a raccoon if he wants a beer, right? I mean, he probably would drink it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to get a wild animal drunk, though. I don't think it would be the nicest thing in the whole wide world because God only knows what they're up to. But in this particular instance, the day before yesterday, listen, it's not like her house wasn't clean. It was clean. I was always vacuuming, but I got these girls to come in and they did the inside of the cabinets. They did the oven. They did the fridge. They did polished everything, all the mirrors, all the windows. These women were miracle workers. And it's just, it smelled so fresh. And so I've just been so delighted to make sure it stays as tidy as possible. She's not a sloppy person. She's a very methodical, very fastidious lady. She, she washes after I leave her meal. She tends to wash her own dishes and put them on the dry rack. She's old, but she's not feeble, and I go in there and it looks like there was a frat house party. I mean, I couldn't believe. And then the litter box, and that's why I was sure it was Bubble. The raccoon used the litter box. You heard it here first, kids. there was like there was poop in the litter box, and then the litter was strewn all over the place. I didn't even check it. Of course, I cleaned it out, but I was like, "Oh, that's what raccoon poop looks like." I had no idea whatsoever. You know, Patrick R. Hey, Patrick R. I think you got lucky. The raccoon didn't. I feel completely lucky, and so I'll pull the picture back up. Hold on. Thanks, Patrick. Hold on. Okay. So there he is. So he's on her couch. So here's her closet. Her door's off to the left. That's the bedroom, the kitchen. She's got a lovely apartment that we spent months in court. Sorry, years in court defending against the DL. Because DL took her to court too, because she takes everybody to court because she's not nice. Here's her flower. I get her fresh flowers every year. There's every week. There's balloons here. She's got like a little bar for her kitchen, and that's the patio door. And I just wanted to see. Oh, you joined late. Hey, Drew. So, Drew, in a nutshell, I had to push the show back an hour because one of Rose's cameras in her apartment was on the floor. It's happened before because she's got an air conditioner that she doesn't like cold at all. She's an older lady. They like to be warm. But if it's really, really hot, and it has been, I keep the air conditioner on low. But I took the knob off because I don't want her to turn it off because she will. Anyway, I figured she just went over there and knocked it over. So I was like, I didn't think that much about it. And then something in me just said, go down there and check it out. So I open up the door, Drew, and I see the camera on the floor, but then I see a bag of Friskies in the middle of the living room. There's some stray Friskies kicking around, but the bag is empty. And I just opened up a new bag of Friskies for Bubble the cat, the stray cat that comes in and out of her house. And then I looked around and things were knocked over, and the litter box that's right by her sliding patio door had poop in it, and the litter was everywhere. Now, Bubble has used the litter box, and he's never, ever, ever made a mess. Never. But this was crazy messy. Boxes were knocked over. There was claw, like scratch marks on an Amazon box. I was like, oh, Bubble just made himself at home. But I said, after I went and I cleaned it all up, and Rose was still sleeping, and then she woke up and I made her breakfast and all that stuff. It's like, okay, sit down and I'll make you breakfast. And there she's going out the front door right now, which I wish she wouldn't do. I said, do me a favor while I'm doing my show. She knows about the show. I said, why don't you do me a favor? And is there somebody at her door? Oh, I hope not. No, she's just opening up her door. She likes to go out on the stoop and just get some sunshine, which is fine. So I look at the camera, and it's funny because I actually had to switch the plan because it will tell me, because I've got 3 cameras up here and I've got 2 cameras in her apartment. I've got her living room, which gives me the whole vista of her apartment, and then her backyard, which is great. But unfortunately, the outdoor camera that I have has some kind of a solar switch where it turns the entire electricity off of the camera, has to keep resetting. So I have to either bypass that thing. I just haven't figured it out yet. So the only camera I got to use was that. So long story short, Drew, for everybody else heard the story, I look on the camera and I had to switch the plan so I could see the events, and it said motion detected. And there it is. That's not Bubble. And you guys want to name the cat? You're more than welcome to. Eric B says we've got to name the creature. I'm up for it. I'll put a poll up. What are some top names you guys want for this cat, for this raccoon? And then I'll put a poll up and you guys can vote and we'll name it. Listen, I mean, obviously he's kicking around. He's going to be stalking her apartment, like Andrew said. So at no point, and I'm going to feed him, obviously, because he's hungry. He came and ate an entire bag. The only thing I'm worried about was he broke in. So Drew, I leave. If you look at this picture, I don't think I can blow it up anymore. Oh, I can. So if you look here, here's the raccoon, right? See this over here, this door? It's ajar. I leave it ajar every night for Bubble, because Bubble comes up on the roof and you have to climb. You have to be one of the Walendas. You have to climb up, get yourself in. You either have to climb up a brick wall or a trellis or God knows, maybe the willow tree. I don't know how he does it. But I leave that open for Bubble, and he often comes in and eats. But now I'm wondering, has this guy been coming in all this time? Was it him? But he ransacked the place. It's all clean now and it looks fine. But holy schmagoli, that was insanity. So yeah, he broke in and he made a mess. Bandit. Oh, that's a great idea. And they all do look like bandits. So Bandit will be one of the choices on the poll. Bandit, the Queen's raccoon it is. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, we don't need to do a poll. Drew got it. Call him Mooch. Or we'll just call him Bandit the Mooch. The Queen's, he's Bandit, the Queen's raccoon. Andy M, Zorro. Okay, you guys want to do a poll, I'll do it. So you got Mooch, Bandit, Zorro. I can do 4. One more, and we'll put it in the thing. Bandit, Mooch, and Zorro. Okay. One more name, and I'll put it in the polls, and I'll put that up right after the show today. You tell me what you want. I'll wait for that. Bandit, Mooch, and Zorro. So that's crazy stuff, right? Anyway, guys, it's time for the Gallery of Bastards.
The Gallery of Bashtards. Send me the shots, the sublime beats of words. The Gallery of Bashtards. You share them with me, and I share with the
world. Well. Guess who sent me pictures to the Bashers? It's Eazy-E. Look at that. The garden on top of the roof. I got to say this, your tomatoes look glorious. Can I say this? All my tomatoes are done. They are finished. I had 3 beautiful tomato plants out there, and they have all borne fruit, and they've all been eaten in delicious salads, mostly Greek salads, because I've been making a lot of Greek salads lately. Absolutely amazing. This guy's got, he's Dino Jr. Look at that. Are those marigolds? I'm assuming that they are. I could be wrong. You guys know everything. Dino, Easy. You guys know all the stories. I don't. I just go, look, it's a flower. Beautiful. The work of Eazy-E. How great is that? How great is it that he's in the show? That's very pretty. Look at the photography. Outrageous. Beautiful. Just look how pretty that is. Rooftop garden. Beautiful. The pavers are nice. Look at that trellising. I love that. See, because it makes the iron railing look so much more attractive. It really does. Beautiful. Potpourri of floors. Beautiful. Well, look at these guys. Amazing. Those red-eyed Susan. Oh, how cool is that? Oshin's favorite people in the whole wide world. He loves them. The Gabbiani. Yi Gabbiani, I should say. Beautiful. Eazy-E returns to the show hard. We love you, man. Cheeky Bugger. Okay, Cheeky Bugger is the next one. So it's going to be Zorro, Cheeky Bugger, Mooch, and Bandit. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Amazing. Thank you so very much. Ray Scott. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Oh, look at this. You sent me a video that I can actually play. I don't have to download this. Beautiful, Easy. Yeah. Look at this. How do they know how to do that so young? Look at this cutie pie, though. Wow. Oh, what a sweet puppy. They'll be friends soon enough. Oh. See? It always happens. Pickpocket Pete. Oh, see? Friends indeed. That's great. Thank you, Ray. That's a nice Sunday, joyful thing. We love that. We absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Panel Power, Robbie Williams in Dublin. I got to download this. Is there music involved in this? Let me look at it before I show it. If there is, I'm not doing it. What's he doing? Okay, this is Robbie Williams went into a pub. Robbie Williams, a guy nobody knows who he is in America. They have no idea. I love Robbie, man. I think he's a great singer. I love him. I'm a big fan. No, people deride him. I know that they do, and I don't know why. I think he's great. Great pop, great songs, man. Great tunes. I haven't seen Better Man yet. Has anybody seen it? The movie where he's portrayed by a monkey? I get the metaphor. Has anybody seen it? I've not seen it. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. It's available for free. I just haven't watched it. I don't know. I just haven't watched it yet, and I will. Thanks for that. He sounds great in that. He's doing like he's reading the lyrics off of a phone. Amazing. Oh, look at the king of the forest. Bronson, what are you doing? You're sitting on top of the recycling utility bin. Oh, look at this. This is great. This is like a little oh, he's out in his catio. Look at that. This chair, mine. Oh, look at that. That is amazing. Now, man, look at the size of that. Oh, wow, is he huge? Wow. Bronson. Mart, those are amazing shots. Thanks, buddy. Incredible. Vasilios, cat theme. Oh, look at this. Hey, is that Banksy? It's Banksy in Greece. Look at that. That looks so Banksy, doesn't it? Well, listen, Banksy could get around. That's amazing. Oh, wow. I love that. Wow. Does anybody ever know? Did we ever find out who Banksy is? Or is that still a mystery? Eminem madness, smoking Mindy madness. Yeah. Here's the girl. It's Mindy. Hello, honey pie. Looking very pretty. Oh, and Carolyn, just for you. It's your boyfriend. It's Mark. He is enjoying the sunshine. Sunshine on Mark's shoulders makes Carolyn happy. I'm the cat in the box. Amazing. Look at that. She is ready to pounce. That's the pounce face. Oh, look at this beautiful boy. Boy. Look at him. He's so beautiful. Oh. He's very stately, isn't he? He looks like, he could be like the Chancellor. Chancellor Mork. That's his new name, Chancellor Mork. Lady Mindy, but Chancellor Mork. He looks like a chancellor. Oh, beautiful. Mork and Mindy madness. Mork and Mindy madness. Oh, you devil lady. She's a devil woman with evil on her mind. She's just a devil woman. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gallery of Julian, our resident artist on the iBashers network. Look at that. Cafe Nero. Or Nero. Espresso Pasto Panini Mocha. Look at that. I don't know what I guess that's a coffee shop chain, perhaps. Cafe Nero. Or Nero, as we say in America. Espresso or espresso. People say espresso. It's funny when they do it. And there's one thing that drives Paul bananas is people say, "Oh, I'd like a panini." He goes, "Panino." Do you want more than one? Because it's plural. Amazing. Gorgeous photograph, though. Holy crap. I see there's a theme. 'Tis a theme today. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Metallo, legno, muro, viola, muro. What'd you say? Muro di viola. Purple wall. Oof. What's going on here? We're actually seeing heat, Julian. Amazing. Wow. What is she writing? Is she writing or eating? Oh, she's on her phone. You know, where was I that I said how great it was that we were in a place that people weren't on their phones? Geez, I don't remember. Somewhere we were, now you just go everywhere and everybody's got their head in the phone. It's really annoying. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah, his work is stunning. Eric B. Stunning work. Yeah, it is just, yeah, so much. Gallery Show 2026, Julian, London. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Make that happen. Make it so, number one. Look at that. I feel like I'm in Egypt, ancient Egypt. That is gorge. Beautiful. Some kind of government building or maybe a swanky hotel. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. And like old London, new London. Amazing. London, Julian's Mistress, as always, the incomparable work of Sir Julian. That's my favorite because I just love this guy pensively thinking and this guy on the left who looks like he's cruising him. I'm just reading into things. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Carolyn Martin says, just beautiful. Oh, beautiful indeed. Look at that. Wow. Oh, that is, what a great photograph, Carolyn. Brava. Wow, that is gorgeous. And that's young, right? That's a young buck, right? With the very, very small, the antlers are so young. Why would anybody want to shoot one of them? Why would anybody do that? I don't understand. I don't look at this reflection. It's amazing. Oh, so beautiful, Carolyn. Did you take that picture? That's marvelous. Marvelous. Jooby doo. Happy Sunday. Okay. This isn't fair. You ready for this? Happy Sunday from Junie. What is, look at that. Oh my God. She's so stealth and slinky. Look at her. Man, what a beauty. Look at her. I'm grateful for you guys every day. You personify humanity. Can I just say that? And look at this treat of a beautiful creature. Junie, June. Look at that. Look at the cute question mark tail. She's so beautiful. Oh, Drew, you just made my Sunday. And the story continues. I love that. I absolutely love that. It's Fergal. We got some sake and ginger coming up. First, we got some Christopher Ward watches. As you all know, this is the guy that should be on the Christopher Ward payroll because I don't think anybody sold more. You know how many people on this show have bought Chris Ward because of Fergal? Lots and lots. Oh, Ginge. Too much. Look at that, having your nice in the ivy, having your day. Oh, beautiful lady. Look at that. Look at you. And sake. I love that they're outside enjoying nature. It's great. I mean, I've never been in a position to allow that. They were never allowed on my deck because it's 3 stories off the ground. 4 technically. So no thanks. What a beauty. Oh, it's the sake and ginger show and Christopher Ward too. Thanks, Fergal. Amazing. Thank you, kind sir. Mr. Bell. The end of summer. Ooh, can't do that. Don't hum that song. I'll have Don Henley up my kazoo in 2 seconds flat. Look at that action. He's got a zin. Remember that chef that I worked with at the Fiend of a Farmer? That guy, turns out he was selling them. He's trying to make me buy a zin. And I was like, yeah, I like them. They're cool. So I have other things right now on fire. And he's like, no, you have to get this one. He'd bring in a new one every day, helping out. But it turns out he was a dealer, a chef and a dealer. Look at that. Oh, man. That is a great shot. Wow. Wowee. Amazing. Thanks, Eric. Those are gorgeous. That's love that strap. Can I just say that? Sunday naps from Andrew. Oh, Andrew. Andrew. Amazing. What a perfect day for a nap. Perfect day. Beautiful. Hello. Hello, princess. You're a beautiful lady. We love you. What would it be without them? Huh? What would it be without them? Our lives would be super crap. JHB, new Panerai strap. Oh, watch, man. That 8 day is just, oh gosh. Oof, man. Look at that. Look at the fit. First of all, let's talk about how perfect that looks on you. You know what that would look really great with? A blue window pane jacket. Looky that. Oh, that strap is chocolate goodness, man. Woof. Oh, man. Wowee kazowie. See, this watch would look great on me. You know why? Because the cage would be, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be doing this. And the cage would be over here. Who says it's not made for left-handed people? I do. That is stunningly beautiful, man. Oof. Look at that fit on that. That strap is glorious. Wow. What a watch. Amazing. Amazing. Thanks, guys. Yeah, wow is right. You know, who doesn't, you want one, right? I know. Pams are sexy as F. They really are.
The Gallery of Bashtards. Send me the shots that sublime the absurd. The Gallery of Bashtards. You share them with me, and I share with the world.
The world. JHB comes in hard with a $49.99 super sticker. Wow. Thank you so much. That was incomparably generous, and thank you so very much for that. And we're all very excited about that. Not for me. So I have a 7.25, my friend, and I wore James M's 10 day, and you know what? It wasn't bad. And my wrist is smaller than yours. Mine's 7.25. 7.5? That's a very respectable wrist size, my dearest. You could absolutely, positively wear one of these. You're not going to look like a little boy from Hong Kong wearing a clock on your wrist. It's going to look amazing on you. You definitely could. Definitely could. And listen, the 10 day, I was like, oh, that'll never, because James is a man. He's a rugged man, very, very, looks like he's in really super great shape, great hands, great wrists. And I was like, oh, that'll never fit on me. And he took it off and I put it on. I was like, you know what? I could pass for sure. Oh, 7.25. So we're in the same boat. I put the 10 day on. That's bigger, right? The 8 day. How big is the 8 day? Let me see. 8 day size. Forgive me, I don't know that off the top of my head. Everybody does. The Pan Arrive. It's 42 millimeters. Oh no, it's not. The PAM 0098. No, that's not. Hold on. Ooh, 8 day, didn't I? Oh shit, I wrote the wrong thing. Sorry. 8 day. That's 44 millimeters. Okay, yeah, it's a bit big. Now, how big was the 10 day? Was that 44 also? If it was 44, I pulled it off. I don't know how, but I did. 10 day. How big is a 10 day? Why is that not coming up right away? 44 for the 8 day. Luminor 10 day. Okay, let's see how big this is. Allow this time. Okay. How big is it? There it is right there. There's his watch. I'm sorry, I'm doing this without you, and that's very rude to do that. Very rude. Very, very rude. Hold on. Share the screen. Push windows, tab, imagine day. Okay, hold on. Close. I don't want that. What is this? Why is it not giving me the wow, I did that already. Let's do what's this one? That's the 10 day. That's the one I had on. Technical data. How big is it? Case. 44 as well. I don't know what to tell you, Drew. I don't know why it looked good, and that one would look great on you. You're a manly man. You could pull that off for sure. Thanks, all. Just the fit much better than one would think. They do. I don't know what size your wrist is, JHB, but that looks perfection on you. Eric B says, perfect strap on that. Perfect. And Drew says, wow, Pam Heaven. Sin top micro brand. Watch, that model is one of the best. I think it is too, It's the U-boat steel tegimented version. Look at that. You guys all know about that stuff, It's amazing. Lovely pictures. Carolyn, hope you don't mind my Mork obsession. She thinks it's adorable. Of course she does. The rumors are that Banksy is a member of Massive Attack. Talk about being an underachiever. Oh, Jesus, is that possible? Imagine that. Stunning work. In my dreams, Mork and I meet. Of course, I'm a cat too. We fall in love right off into the sunset. Mart says that Robbie Williams is going to court again with the Irish guy over who owns the copyright to the song Angels. Jeez, it's 30 years old, that song already. Oh, Jesus. They got together. They got into a bar. They came up with the song. And then later on, Robbie bought him out. I don't know. In my opinion, I'm a songwriter. If I sold my song, I sold my song. A contract is a contract is a contract. If you sold your song, then it's not yours anymore. Did he write another one? Because Robbie's written a lot of great songs with Guy Chambers. I don't know. That kitty will take over the dog's favorite bed. That's for sure, the German Shepherd. Unbelievable stuff, yeah. Thanks, all. It fits much better. It sure does. Guys, amazing show. Thank you so much. Thank you to Andrew and JHB with the gigantic generosity of the largest kind. Guys, amazing. It's a beautiful day in New York City, so I'm going to go downstairs and go just assess see if there's anything else that got ratcheted up in the apartment that I need to figure out or fix. Raccoon Gate. I'll put up a poll for the names you guys picked, and thanks so much. You guys are amazing. And of course, I don't say the usual outro, so go in peace to love and serve the best. I'm Dirk. I'll be back on Speedy Tuesday. I love each and every one of you. Big hearts to all of you on this Sunday Mass. I'm grateful for every single solitary second of you. Remember that. Go in peace to love and serve the bash.
Sweet hill.